Warning: why your world suddenly feels like a set, the extraction kit. Your apartment looks staged. Your hands feel borrowed. Your partner's voice sounds dubbed. You blink, but nothing moves inside you. It's like walking through a set where the props are perfect and you're the extra who forgot the lines. The clock on the wall stretches time like gum. Colors feel one shade too low. Your own name lands like a username you once chose. You're scared you're going crazy. Work is slipping. Sleep is wrecked. Friends don't get it. Here's the part almost everyone misses. Your brain is trying to protect you. It overshot. And there's a way to bring you back. The set phenomenon, naming the unreality. The first time it hits for real, it's rarely in a quiet place. It's under bright lights. Fluorescence in a grocery aisle. The milk fridge howling like a jet engine. Your cart's handle is cold and too smooth. You stare at your hand, and it doesn't belong to you. Your chest goes tight, throat goes hollow, and the world tilts from 3D to cardboard scenery. You float home. You check the mirror 3 times to confirm you still exist. You text a friend just to feel the ping. The reply registers like a notification from someone else's life. That's the set. Your reality looks staged. Depth is flattened, as if a dimmer switch got dragged down on color, sound, and meaning. Time rubber bands, minutes stretch, hours collapse. Yourself feels an inch to the left of your body, watching from behind glass. People's faces look familiar but thin, like masks with correct features, but no warmth behind the eyes. Street noise becomes a looped audio track. You keep thinking, I'm here but not here. To get our footing, we need names. Depersonalization is when you feel unreal to yourself. Your thoughts, your hands, your emotions feel distant or automated. Derealization is when the world feels unreal. Flat, foggy, dreamlike, far away. They often travel together, so most people just say DPDR. Anxiety can be loud in the background, racing heart, shallow breath. But DPDR is not the same as constant panic. It can idle cold and steady. And this matters. Psychosis is different. Psychosis means fixed false beliefs or hallucinations and a loss of insight. In DPDR, insight is intact. You know this is a state. In predictive coding terms, your belief model stays online, while precision is misassigned. That gap, terrifying as it feels, is protective. The stakes are real. Work quality drops because attention splinters. You avoid intimacy because touch feels like acting. You start collecting medical tests, thyroid, MRI, blood panels, hoping for a concrete answer. Sometimes the thoughts turn dark. If you're having active suicidal thoughts or feel unsafe, pause this and reach out now. Emergency services, a crisis line, or a trusted person. DPDR can be brutal, but it is not a sentence, and it is not brain damage. It's a mode your system slid into. There's a trapdoor hidden under the floorboards, the maintainers. You try to fix the unreality with endless checking. You stare in mirrors to see if your face clicks. You touch countertop edges to feel realness pings. You wear sunglasses indoors to mute brightness, hood up to dull the world, headphones with no music just to buffer. You ask people, do I seem normal? You Google symptoms at 2 a.m., then at 2:07, then at 2:13. You doom scroll other people's stories until your own becomes a script you can't stop reciting. You stop playing, stop novelty, stop joy, because you want to control the variables. It makes sense, and it keeps the set intact. Here's the hint that reconnects this to biology. Your brain is a prediction machine, a Bayesian brain. It's always comparing what it expects, priors, to what's coming in from your senses and from inside your body, prediction errors. When the mismatch is high, after panic, shock, sleep debt, or cannabis/stimulants, the brain has a dilemma: upweight the flood of weird sensations, or lean on the old model of, I'm fine? When the system can't reconcile the mismatch, it often protects you by turning the precision down on sensations and emotions, like lowering the render quality in a video game to stop lag. Safe but flat. That's why you feel like a camera moving through scenery. The mind leans into thinking about thinking, hyper-mentalizing, while the felt sense of the body, interoception, goes quiet. Thoughts get sharp, but sensations go blurry. It's not a failure of character. It's a protective overcorrection in precision waiting. And when you mislabel it, this is insanity, this is permanent, you glue catastrophic meaning to a state that actually needs less threat precision, not more. Micro-stories show how sticky the loop becomes. A college student starts avoiding afternoon classes because sun through windows looks too HD. She sits in the back, hat low, scanning faces for proof of connection. Each scan says still unreal, which her brain logs as keep defenses up. A new dad checks his pulse. Every hour, convinced the numbness means stroke. Every normal beat he reads is inconclusive, so he checks again. A designer stops listening to music because it doesn't feel like anything anymore. Weeks later, nothing feels like anything anymore. None of this means you did something wrong. It means the behaviors that reduce fear for a minute starve the brain of the corrective evidence it needs to recalibrate. If you never stay in the grocery store long enough for the weirdness to plateau, your brain never learns. Oh, fluorescents feel wrong, but nothing bad happens. If you always ask for reassurance, your brain never updates. I can navigate this state without a co-pilot. If you avoid joy because it doesn't land, your dopamine and salience networks have nothing to tag as meaningful, so the world stays grey. There's another quiet layer, language. Words like brain dead, ego death, not human spike arousal. They set priors, expectations, that bias what you notice. If you call the state, I'm broken, your system hunts for brokenness. If you call it the dimmer, your system has permission to expect light again. Boring, accurate language helps. So we'll name this without drama. Your renderer dropped to low to save energy under stress. Insight stayed online. Safety behaviors and catastrophic stories are maintaining the flatness. You don't need to force reality to snap back in one moment. You need to unwind the loop, step by step, and feed your brain the right kind of evidence. To understand how the picture got flat, and how to bring depth back, we need to look at how the brain actually builds a world, and what happens when the renderer glitches under load. Predictive Brain 101, when the renderer glitches. To understand why the picture got flat, start with a simple rule. The brain guesses. It isn't a camera that records, it's a prediction machine that renders. Every moment, it throws top-down expectations, priors, at the flood of bottom-up signals, prediction errors, from your eyes, ears, skin, gut, and heart. What you experience as the world is the brain's best guess that explains both. A Bayesian compromise that minimizes surprise. When the incoming data matches the prior, experience feels smooth, embodied, and obvious. Coffee smells like coffee, your heartbeat feels like yours, your partner's voice lands as safe. But when the mismatch spikes, what neuroscientists call prediction error, the brain has to resolve it. It can update the model, trust the data, or change how much confidence, precision, it assigns to each stream of information. That precision setting, miscalibrated confidence, is where DPDR lives. Think of precision as volume knobs across the system. High precision on body cues, your interoception is vivid. You feel breath, pulse, hunger, warmth. High precision on threat thoughts, you're locked on worries and what-ifs. The brain keeps adjusting these knobs to reduce overall error. Under stress, panic, trauma reminders, sleep debt, cannabis hits, stimulant overuse, shaky SSRI starts or stops. The system gets noisy. Signals jitter. The cost of trusting raw sensation goes up. So the brain does something protective. It turns down precision on both interoception and exteroception, the body and the world, and turns up precision on abstract modeling. Emotions dim, textures flatten, time loses grain, and thinking about thinking takes the lead. That's the observer mode. You feel like a camera on a dolly, tracking through scenery, narrating your own movements. It's not a moral failure. It's a cost-saving, precision reallocation measure to stop the machine from overheating. Inside that shift sits the insula and the anterior cingulate cortex, hubs that integrate internal bodily cues with salience, attention, and meaning. When interoceptive signals are blunted or flagged as unreliable, the brain loses a key anchor of self-presence. The felt sense of me here fades, even if your thoughts keep churning. Meanwhile, the amygdala tags ambiguity as threat, especially under allostatic load, because uncertainty under load looks dangerous, and the archive of past stressors biases the tag. Here's where the renderer metaphor earns its keep. Under heavy graphics load, a game lowers texture quality and shadows to prevent a crash. The scene plays, just with fewer details. Your brain does the same. It lowers render quality, depth and effect, to reduce error costs. Safe but flat. If life stabilizes and you don't add alarm, the renderer can ramp back up. But if you mislabel the flatness as catastrophe and start checking, avoiding, and doom searching, you teach the system. Keep it low, danger remains. Microstory. 3 days after an all-nighter and too much caffeine, a grad student feels a sudden wave of unreality in a seminar. He clamps down, stares at a crack in the table, and promises himself he'll Google every symptom at home. Walking back, light looks fake. He repeats, "What is happening?" like a spell. That night, the tabs multiply. The brain learns. Abstract problem-solving gets precision. Embodied contact is unsafe. The render stays low. Now flip the lens to precision again. Over-precision on thought streams means intrusive meta-commentary feels truer than the chair under you. Under-precision on sensation means the chair barely registers. The solution isn't to argue with every thought. It's to quietly lower its precision while raising the body's. That's why slow nasal breathing with longer exhales helps. It stabilizes CO2 and nudges vagal tone, making interoceptive signals less noisy, more trustworthy. That's why steady sleep protects the system. It restores priors and recalibrates thresholds so normal fluctuations don't read as threats. What nobody knew at the time, moments often sit in physiology. Hyperventilation, common in anxious states, drops CO2, which changes blood pH, which makes you lightheaded and spacey. If the brain reads those sensations through a catastrophic prior, unreality gets tagged as danger. If you relabel and breathe low and slow, the same sensations become background. The world regains weight, not because you convinced yourself, but because you changed the data-to-model ratio. Meanwhile, allostatic load, the wear and tear from chronic stress, pushes the system toward energy conservation. The brain's archive of past overwhelm biases new ambiguity toward shutdown. Dissociation, in this frame, is a throttle. Short-term, it prevents overload. Long-term, if you keep pressing the brake with checking and avoidance, you never get back on the highway. Here's the crucial turn. DPDR isn't a broken reality detector. It's a miscalibrated confidence assigner in a predictive coding system. Insight is intact. That's why you can say something's off. The job isn't to prove reality with rituals. It's to retune the knobs. You'll do that by changing language. Boring, accurate labels reduce threat precision. By changing physiology, breath, sleep, fuel raise interoceptive precision. And by changing behavior, staying in safe but weird contexts supplies corrective evidence the model needs. Another micro-story. A barista notices morning shifts in bright cafes spike her unreality. She starts wearing sunglasses at the espresso machine. Relief. Weeks later, the cafe feels even flatter without the glasses. She flips the script. No sunglasses, slow exhale between orders, eyes track the steam, feel of the pitcher, weight of the cup. She stays until the weirdness plateaus, then 30% longer. Boredom creeps in. The renderer nudges up. So, when does the renderer crash instead of recover? When overload stacks, mislabeling sticks, avoidance narrows life, hypermonitoring amplifies threat cues, and relief behaviors get wired in. That's the 5-event chain. And that's exactly what we're going to unwind carefully, so the system relearns depth without force. The 5-event chain that flips you into DPDR. This was the moment everything changed. Not the first jolt of weirdness, but the sequence that kept it. 5 linked events pull the renderer down and hold it there. If you can see them, you can unwind them. Event 1, overload. It starts with too much, too fast, for too long. A panic crescendo after weeks of thin sleep. A cannabis hit that lands harsher than you expected. A shock, news that yanks the floorboards. Or a slow burn burnout that finally tips. Underneath, your precision knobs are already drifting. Low sleep, jittery caffeine, a stomach off, a chest that's breathing high and fast. Prediction errors spike. The data feels wrong. The model feels shaky. The system picks the safest move. Reduce intensity, so you don't fry the circuits. You feel the dimmer slide. Your hands are yours, but faint. The room is real, but flat. That's overload, not omen. Event 2, mislabel. The sensations grab a story fast. I'm broken. I'm losing my mind. This is permanent. The amygdala tags the state as threat. Now the prior, the expectation you bring into each moment, says unreality is dangerous and must be fixed right now. That label matters. The same sensations with a different label. My brain pulled the dimmer. It overshot. Don't amplify. With catastrophe on board, every flicker confirms the story. Your mind starts scanning for more evidence. And of course it finds it, because scanning changes what you notice. Microstory. 2 hours after a bad edible, a musician stares at his hands and thinks, I broke my brain. That sentence sticks to every future twinge. Weeks later, a normal wave of fatigue lands, and the sentence fires. Threat again. The tag becomes the trap. Event 3, avoidance. Now you shrink your world. You cancel the brunch, skip the afternoon class with the sunglare windows, stop taking the afterwork train because motion feels too silky and fake. You keep your hood up. You sit in safe corners. You pull back from play because joy feels muted, and that scares you. You avoid mirrors unless you're checking. You avoid checking unless you're sure it'll work. The problem? By stepping away from safe but weird contexts, you withhold the corrective evidence your brain needs. It never gets to learn that the grocery store looks wrong and nothing bad happens, repeatedly, until it's boring. Microstory. A teacher moves her desk to the back of the classroom so she can watch, not engage. Relief for a week. Then the room starts to feel even flatter from back there. The renderer follows the behavior. Event 4. Hypermonitoring. You point your attention inward and at the edges of reality, like a searchlight. Do I feel real yet? Is my voice mine? Does that color look off? You check your pulse. You watch your breath. You reread texts to see if the words feel like you wrote them. You ask your partner, do I seem normal? You Google DPDR permanent at midnight and again at 1. Each check puts high precision on the unreality channel. It also spikes arousal. The brain logs, this state is dangerous, stay vigilant. Now even neutral sensations, CO2 shifts from a sigh, a hum of light, become cues to recheck. The loop tightens. Event 5, reinforcement. Every safety behavior that buys a minute of relief teaches your nervous system to keep doing it. Hebbian learning. Neurons that fire together wire together. Doesn't care if the relief leads to long-term stuckness. Sunglasses indoors pair with less overwhelm, so your brain pairs sunglasses with safety. Avoiding the bright supermarket pairs with fewer spikes, so avoidance becomes default. Reassurance pings pair with a drop in fear, so pings become necessary. The renderer stays on low, not because it can't move, but because your daily choices keep telling it not to. Parallel action. While you're avoiding and checking, your body map gets quieter. Interoception goes faint from disuse and fear. Sleep stays choppy, blood sugar wobbles, breathing stays high and fast. Those physiology layers keep prediction errors noisy. The mind, already tagged to threat, doubles down on narration. You feel like a camera because your system is incentivizing observation over participation. Here's the hinge in the door. None of these events are moral failures. They're understandable attempts to stop overwhelm. The cost is that they prevent the recalibration you want. The fix isn't a single heroic snapback. It's a careful reversal of the chain. We'll unwind overload by lowering allostatic load, breath, sleep, fuel, so the signal stabilizes. We'll relabel the sensations in plain, boring, predictive coding language to drop the threat tag. We'll reverse avoidance with graded reentry, safe, repeatable, values-tethered exposures that run long enough for fear to plateau and boredom to take its place. We'll turn off hypermonitoring by setting anti-reassurance rules and shifting precision towards sensation, not thought. And we'll break reinforcement by replacing safety behaviors with anchors that don't keep the dimmer down. Before we do that, hold one more microstory. A college runner stops training because the track feels like a video game. Weeks later, her body feels like an avatar even at home. She returns with a coach, slow laps, eyes open to breath and foot strike, phone off, no, am I real yet? Scans, staying through the plateau plus 30%. By week 3, the track is still the track. The renderer nudges up because the brain finally has evidence it can trust. Now the question becomes, how do we unwind the loop without making it tighter? We start by putting up the medical and clinical guardrails so you can work the plan without fear of missing something important. Then we move stepwise through the extraction. Differential diagnosis guardrails, clinical, not catastrophic. Before we run the extraction, we put the guardrails up. Not to scare you, so you don't waste months fighting ghosts. DPDR preserves insight and doesn't equal brain damage, but symptoms can overlap with other conditions. A clean lane lets you train without the what if I missed something. Loop stealing precision back to fear. We're aligning facts to reduce needless threat precision. Start with the basics your primary care clinician can order. Rule-outs matter because common stuff is common. Ask for a focus screen, thyroid panel, complete blood count, B12 and folate, basic metabolic panel. Fasting glucose or A1C if blood sugar swings are likely. Anemia, B12 deficiency, and thyroid problems can make you foggy, lightheaded, detached. You want those fixed if present. If dizziness or motion sensitivity is loud, consider a vestibular check. If migraines run your life, especially aura without headache, talk to a neurologist. Aura can bend perceptions in ways that mimic derealization. If your episodes include brief losses of time, odd automatisms, or déjà vu with olfactory flashes, discuss seizure rule-outs. Temporal lobe seizures are rare, but if the pattern fits, it's worth a consult. If you've had abrupt one-sided weakness, slurred speech, or a curtain over one eye, urgent territory, ask about TI workup. Most people with DPDR won't match these red flags, but naming them reduces the fog of uncertainty. Hearing and vision aren't afterthoughts. Uncorrected vision strain and subtle hearing loss increase cognitive load and prediction errors. Get your eyes checked, particularly if halos, glare sensitivity, or astigmatism make bright environments feel too HD. Clear input lowers the render burden. Now the psychological overlap. Panic disorder often sits upstream or alongside DPDR. The difference is that panic spikes and falls. DPDR can idle. OCD shows up as mental rituals. Checking if you're real, scanning, Googling, reassurance seeking. If obsessions and compulsions dominate the day, exposure and response prevention belongs in your plan. PTSD and complex trauma bring dissociation as a defensive move. Flashbacks, startle, nightmares, and avoidance of reminders may be front and center. Depression flattens pleasure and energy. Anhedonia can feel like derealization, but in DPDR the oddity of perception is the headline. Autism spectrum traits, sensory sensitivity, social processing differences, can raise sensory load. The goal isn't to erase traits, but to build regulation and fit the environment to your nervous system. Substances matter because dose, timing, and withdrawal shape prediction error. Cannabis can flip the dimmer hard, especially high THC strains and edibles. If your first big episode followed a hit, that's data, not destiny. Psychedelics can loosen priors on purpose. In someone with high arousal or unresolved trauma, the afterglow can slide into DPDR. Stimulants, caffeine, nicotine, prescribed amphetamines, push arousal up. Poor sleep plus stimulants equals noisy interoception. Alcohol withdrawal in the 12 to 48-hour window can make you shaky, unreal, anxious. If any substance drives your graph, log dose, time, and symptom intensity for 2 weeks. Patterns beat guesses. Medication caveats. SSRI and SNRI starts can transiently increase anxiety and detachment before settling. That activation typically fades in weeks. Abrupt discontinuation of antidepressants or benzodiazepines can spike derealization and anxiety. Titrate with a clinician. Benzos soothe in the moment, but rebound can amplify unreality, and dependence is a real risk. If you're changing meds, align it with a lighter life week and run extra sleep and breath anchors. The theme holds. Don't pull 2 rugs at once. Red flags deserve clarity. If you're losing insight, believing firmly that external forces control your thoughts, or holding fixed false beliefs despite evidence, get urgent evaluation. If you're hearing commanding voices, seeing things others don't, or can't care for yourself, seek acute care. And if suicidal thoughts are active, or you have a plan, step out of this video and into help now. Crisis services exist for a reason. The extraction kit works best when safety is present. Here's a precision note that settles a lot of fear. In DPDR, reality testing is intact. You can say, I feel unreal, but I know the wall is a wall. In psychosis, priors harden into fixed false beliefs, and new data can't get in. DPDR is a confidence miscalibration, precision error, not a belief break. That distinction is why the plan focuses on physiology, behavior, and language, not arguing with reality. How to talk to your clinician. Lead with function and time course. After a panic episode 2 months ago, I've had persistent feelings of detachment from myself and the world. I know it's a state, but it's affecting work and sleep. Ask for the sensible medical screen, describe substance and medication timelines, and mention any trauma history you're comfortable sharing. If your clinician knows CBT for depersonalization frameworks, great. If not, ask for a referral to someone who treats dissociation, panic, and OCD with exposure-based work and interoceptive training. Grounding and psychoeducation help. Safety behaviors and endless reassurance don't. Finally, give yourself a boundary. 2 weeks to gather data, do checks, and align care. Then shift attention from hunting diagnoses to running the plan. The render arises with practice, not with perfect certainty. With the guardrails up, we can safely step into the extraction work. And yes, spell out decades fully in your notes and discussions. 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. No shorthand. The hidden maintainers you don't notice. While the guardrails are up, we need to talk about the quiet things that keep the renderer low. Not the big panics. The tiny moves you repeat 100 times a day that teach your brain to distrust depth by misassigning precision. They're understandable. They're also sticky. Safety behaviors come dressed as comfort. Sunglasses indoors because bright light feels too HD. Hood up in the cafe to narrow your visual field. Headphones on with no music to add a layer of buffer. Always going out with a safe person, never alone. Carrying mints, water, or a small object to touch when the world tilts, talismans. Microstory. A student won't cross campus without a sour candy in her pocket. The moment unreality rises, candy in, relief. Her brain pairs lemon tang with safety and learns nothing about the walkway being fine. These behaviors drop distress in the short term by muting input or outsourcing confidence. The cost. The brain never gets bored enough to update its priors. Then there are cognitive compulsions, the neck-up rituals. Rumination loops that start with "why am I like this?" and end 2 hours later with no new data. Reality tests, subtly pinching your arm, brushing fingers along a table, staring at your reflection to see if the click arrives. Philosophy spirals about consciousness, free will, simulation theory, trying to solve meaning while your interoception is offline. And the constant social radar ping. Do I seem normal? Did I sound weird? Each question spikes precision on the unreality channel and keeps the amygdala primed. Microstory. A new parent asks their partner the same question every night. Are my eyes strange? The partner says no. Fear drops. The brain wires ask, then calm. And the question returns tomorrow with more authority. Digital dopamine is a modern maintainer. Short-form scrolling delivers novelty every few seconds, yanking attention from the body and teaching your system to expect rapid shifts in salience. That fragments precision allocation. You exit the app and the room feels flatter by comparison. Your nervous system has been trained to chase microspikes, not to rest inside a single scene. Nighttime doom searching adds another layer. Each new tab promises certainty, each one raises arousal, and sleep gets carved into pieces. The next day's interoception is noisier, and the renderer drops again. Breath and sleep matter in ways that feel too simple to believe. Shallow chest breathing keeps CO2 low. Low CO2 pushes you toward lightheaded, spacey, and brittle. Sleep fragmentation, late caffeine, blue light, stress wakes, erodes the baseline that keeps priors steady. Microstory. An engineer insists his DPDR is mystical, but drinks an energy drink at 4 p.m., scrolls until 1, and wakes 4 times. He calls the morning flatness proof. When he moves caffeine to morning, sets a fixed wake, and protects the last hour before bed, the morning flatness softens. Not because of a breakthrough, because the data stream stabilized. Somatic absence is the slow bleed. Living neck up means the insula gets fewer clean reps, mapping your internal world. No movement that loads joints. No time paying attention to warmth, breath, or pressure without trying to fix them. Over months, interoceptive precision drops from disuse and chronic stress. Then, when you do feel something, hunger, a flutter, it lands as alien. Microstory. A graphic designer sits 12 hours a day, drinks coffee as lunch, and calls the mid-afternoon emptiness existential. When she starts a 5-minute stand stretch, a 10-minute walk, and 1 slow body scan daily, the existential window shrinks. Her body stopped being a stranger. Tie it back to mechanism. Each safety behavior either upweights threat precision, putting more confidence on unreality cues, or withholds corrective evidence. Sunglasses indoors teach, light is dangerous unless filtered. Safe person reliance teaches, I'm unsafe alone. Reassurance teaches, I can't regulate without external proof. Rumination teaches, thinking is safer than sensing. Scrolling teaches, novelty beats stillness. Chest breathing and broken sleep teach, sensation is noisy, distrust it. All of that keeps the render flat. What nobody knows at first is how language cements these moves. When you call the hat, the sunglasses, the candy must-haves, your brain hears rule, not preference. When you say, I can't go without my safe person, your body hears helpless. Shift to boring accuracy. I prefer sunglasses, I can choose not to. I like my partner there, I'm practicing solo too. You're changing the prior. Now the stakes, plainly. Every minute of short-term safety you buy with these behaviors charges interest. The interest is one more day without corrective evidence. One more day where the renderer has no reason to add depth. This isn't about deprivation or toughness. It's about giving your brain what it needs to recalibrate. Safe exposure, steady. Physiology, low drama labels, and small, repeated proof. So here's the plan teaser. We'll map your safety behaviors and cognitive compulsions, one by one. We'll pick a small hinge to remove first, maybe the sunglasses for 10 minutes indoors, maybe the reassurance question after dinner. We'll pair that removal with a body anchor, slow nasal exhale, and a time target. Stay through the weirdness until it plateaus, then 30% longer. We'll keep the phone off during exposures. We'll add back novelty and play in measured doses, so salience has something joyful to tag. Brick by brick, you'll stop feeding the maintainers and start feeding the renderer. Remove what maintains it, then add what rebuilds it, brick by brick. The 4R extraction kit, overview, roadmap plus timing. You've seen what keeps the render flat. Now we give the system a new script, in order, with guardrails. For moves, relabel, re-regulate, re-engage, remap. Run like gears. Each one shifts precision, drops threat, and feeds your brain the evidence it needs to bring depth back. We don't skip steps. We don't chase breakthroughs. We train. First, relabel. Names change priors. When the mind throws, "I'm broken," we answer with something boring and accurate. This is depersonalization / derealization, my brain's dimmer switch. It overshot to protect me. That single line lowers precision on catastrophe. You're not arguing with reality. You're reassigning confidence away from alarm and toward context. Micro-practice, 20 seconds, 30 times a day. Name what's here. Notice what it does to your body. Normalize it with a low drama line, and pair it with a slow nasal exhale. The point isn't poetry, it's repetition. You're teaching your nervous system a new default label, so the amygdala stops tagging the state as emergency. Second, re-regulate. Physiology first, because noisy signals keep the renderer cautious. We stabilize CO2 with slow nasal breathing. 4 in, 6 out, or 5 in, 7 out, 10 minutes a day, then peppered microdoses. We bias the vagus with longer exhales, humming in the shower, brief cold water on the face. We protect sleep like a prescription. Fixed wake time, morning light, caffeine cutoff, wind down anchor, dark bedroom. We steady blood sugar. Protein first, predictable carbs, no heroic fasts during acute DPDR. So adrenergic spikes don't masquerade as unreality. We audit stimulants with a simple log, dose, time, symptom bump. This isn't a wellness makeover. It's a targeted recalibration, so interoceptive precision rises, and your body becomes a reliable reference again. Third, re-engage. Avoidance taught your brain the wrong lesson. Exposure rewrites it. We build a hierarchy of avoided places and contexts, include lighting, time of day, motion. We set anti-reassurance rules for exposures. No scanning, am I real yet? No escape hatches, phone off. We stay in the scene until distress plateaus, then 30% longer. Then we repeat until boredom appears, because boredom tells the brain, safe, not special. We tether exposures to values, not punishment. The art class you miss, the run at dusk you loved, the friend you've been ghosting. Behavior updates priors faster than thought. When you act like the world is safe while it still feels weird, and nothing bad happens, on purpose, repeatedly, the renderer gets permission to add depth back. Fourth, remap. You're not a head floating through space. You're a body with edges, weight, warmth, and a story. Interoceptive training restores ownership. We run daily body scans that label 10 neutral sensations without fixing them. We use movement anchors that load joints, squats, carries, pushes, to amplify proprioception. We train senses on purpose, scent cards, a texture box, sound localization walks. We use ownership cues, hands and face rituals, warm water, lotion, because those maps are dense and responsive. Mirror work becomes just that, a mirror, not a meaning machine. Then we rebuild narrative salience. A one-sentence value statement, a post-dissociation identity prompt, and the daily 3 simple joys that retag life with interest. Joy isn't dessert. It's the teacher your salience network forgot. Here's how the timeline flows without urgency. Phase 1, stabilization, 2 to 6 weeks. Relabel scripts multiple times daily. Breath and sleep anchors every day. Nutrition and stimulant audit on paper, not in your head. If your life is loud, aim for consistency, not perfection. You'll know this phase is taking when mornings feel a hair less brittle, and the urge to Google fades faster. Phase 2, exposure, 8 to 12 weeks. Start with low to moderate items from your hierarchy. 1 to 3 exposures a week, 20 to 40 minutes each, with the anti-reassurance rule alive. Track duration and the plateau point, not feelings. If you get spikes between sessions, you didn't break anything, you stirred the system. Keep physiology anchors steady, and let boredom be the win state. Fold values into the list so you're not just proving safety, you're living again. Phase 3, consolidation, 12 weeks and beyond. Keep a minimum viable dose. Breath microdoses daily, sleep anchors nightly, 1 exposure per week just to keep the model honest. 2 to 3 interoceptive practices across the week, and your joy calendar running. Reduce symptom tracking, increase skill tracking. Identity projects take priority over scanning. You're building life forward. Across all phases, the 30-second rule stands. If you feel the urge to check, add a micro-anchor, name, notice, normalize, slow exhale. If an exposure feels pointless because it still feels weird, extend time or drop reassurance, not the session. If you backslide, you didn't fail, you tripped a well-wired loop. Return to stabilization for 48 hours, then step back in where you left off. Viral pacing tip. Keep reps small, visible, winnable. Viewers repeat what they can finish. One last thing, iterate without urgency. The renderer lifts in nudges. You're not forcing clarity, you're feeding it. Relabel, taking the teeth out of the sensations. We start here because names change what the brain expects to find. When the surge of flatness hits, the old label jumps first. Broken, ruined, insane. Those words crank precision on threat and push the amygdala to tag every sensation as danger. Our job is to swap the label, not to win an argument. We make it boring and Bayesian on purpose. The script is simple. This is depersonalization and derealization, my brain's dimmer switch. It overshot to protect me. It's a predictive coding overcorrection. You're telling the system the story it can update with. You're not announcing victory. You're reducing the confidence on catastrophe and giving the renderer room to breathe. Micropractice turns this from a sentence into a reflex. 20 seconds, 30 times a day. Name, notice, normalize. Pair it with a slow nasal exhale. Name, DPDR, not danger. Notice, my chest is tight, my vision feels flat, thoughts are loud. Normalize, dimmer switch. It passes when I stop fueling it. Then a 4 inches, 6 out breath. You're teaching your chemoreflex and your appraisal system to handshake instead of fight. Language is leverage, so we audit it. We drop cinematic words that spike arousal. Brain dead, ego death, hollow person, simulation confirmed. We replace them with boring accuracy, stressed renderer, low salience, protective dim, precision error. Boring works because it removes drama from the prior. Get this. Your brain is listening to how you describe the scene to decide how to weight the inputs. Give it low drama copy. Now we unhook the tripwires that keep relabeling from landing. Mirrors, bright supermarkets, scrolling at midnight. These aren't moral hazards, they're precision traps. So we practice neutral labeling in the scenes that usually spark fear. You pass a mirror? That's a mirror. Not do I click. Bright aisle? Overhead LEDs. Not 2 HD. Phone in bed? It stays outside the room so the prior at midnight isn't solve on reality. It's sleep. Neutral words, neutral moves. Hyper-mentalizing will try to hijack this. The narrator loves to step in with commentary. You're doing it wrong. This is fake acceptance. What if this is forever? We externalize that voice. Call it the narrator, the commentator, the weather channel. Anything that makes it a character, not you. Then treat its lines as hypotheses, not facts. Thanks, narrator. Hypothesis logged. Returning to the breath and the chair. You're not debating. You're starving it of precision. A micro-story. On a bus, a student feels the float. Old script. It's happening, get off. New script. Dimmer switch over correction. Name, notice, normalize, slow exhale. She stays 1 stop longer than usual. The narrator chirps. You're faking calm. Hypothesis noted. Attention to the seat's pressure returns. The bus doors hiss. Nothing breaks. Precision shifts a notch towards sensation. That's the whole point. We add a twist. Deliberate low salience phrasing. The brain tags words as cues. Say, this is unbearable, and it pushes arousal up. Say, this is noticeable, and the system has permission to downshift. Try swapping panic for alarm, surge for wave, weird for danger. Tiny swaps change the brains, bet on what's coming next. Now the triggers that pretend to be data. Symptom Googling, reassurance texts, and self-checks all pose as information gathering. They're actually precision amplifiers. During acute relabeling, we set a hard rule. No Googling DPDR or reading forums after 6 p.m., and no reassurance questions after dinner. If a question rises, it goes to a note titled, for session/for morning. You capture it, you don't court it. Removing nighttime threat input protects sleep, and protecting sleep protects priors. We won't pretend language alone can flip the switch. But without relabeling, everything else fights uphill. So we build reps like weed. Train a muscle. 3 anchors help. Environmental cues, body cues, and social cues. Environmental cue, a sticky note on a light switch. Dimmer, not danger. Body cue, wristwatch buzz every hour. Name, notice, normalize, 1 breath. Social cue, tell one trusted person the exact script you're using, and ask them to mirror it back if you slip into catastrophe. Not reassurance, consistency. Another micro-story. A chef gets spikes mid-service. Old move. Step into the walk-in, pinch forearm, text partner. I'm not real. New move. Lean on the stainless table, feel palm pressure, whisper. Dimmer switch. 1 breath, then hands on the board. He bans the word broken from the kitchen. He still feels weird at 7:15. By 7:30, he's plating, weird and working. By 8:10, he notices the weight of the knife. Precision moved because language stopped fanning threat. Expect backlash. The narrator will say, you're minimizing. You're not. You're calibrating. It'll say, if you stop calling it dangerous, you'll ignore a real problem. You won't. Act IV's Guardrails already covered that. It'll say, this is permanent. That's not data. That's a prior begging for power. Treat permanence as a claim that needs evidence. Then give your brain new evidence. Boring labels plus safe exposures. Here's a practice block you can run today. For 5 minutes, sit in a mildly triggering place. Doorway, window light, a quiet store aisle. Every 15 seconds, softly run the script. DPDR, dimmer switch, protective overshoot. Scan for 3 neutral sensations, pressure, temperature, contact, without fixing them. 1 slow exhale. If a catastrophic thought appears, tag it. Narrator, not truth. When the 5 minutes end, don't debrief the feelings. Mark a tally. You trained. Relabeling doesn't erase unreality, it defangs it. It lowers the precision on alarm so physiology and behavior can do their work. With fear turned down, we can regulate the body the brain's been ignoring and feed the renderer the quiet, trustworthy data it needs. Re-regulate, physiology first, breath, sleep, fuel. We start with breath because breath is the steering wheel. When you feel floaty and far away, odds are you're breathing high and fast, bleeding off CO2. Low CO2 makes you lightheaded, buzzy, and brittle. Your brain reads that noise through the dimmer's prior and doubles down on unreality. So we restore CO2 tolerance. 10 minutes a day, slow nasal breathing. 4 in, 6 out, or 5 in, 7 out, whichever stays smooth. Keep shoulders quiet. Expand low, like you're filling a belt around your ribs. If you get dizzy, you're forcing it. Ease off, return to a gentle rhythm. The goal isn't big breaths. It's steady exhale bias that tells your chemoreflex we're okay. This is consistent with interoceptive predictive coding work. Cleaner, steadier internal signals earn more appropriate precision. Add microdoses. Before you stand, 1 slow exhale. Before calls, 1 slow exhale. In line at the store, 1 slow exhale. You're lacing safety through your day, not trying to win calm in a single round. 2 or 3 times a week, sprinkle brief breath holds to nudge tolerance. After a normal exhale, pinch your nose and hold until a modest urge to breathe, then resume slow nasal breathing. Keep it light, no strain. You're raising the system's comfort with CO2, so everyday fluctuations stop reading as threat. Next lever, the vagus. Longer exhales stimulate the parasympathetic brake. So does humming. 2 minutes in the shower. Hum on your exhale like a low note you can feel in your face. Gargle for 30 seconds. Splash cold water on your cheeks and across your eyes for 15 seconds. These are tiny, consistent signals that bias the dial toward rest without knocking you flat. You're not trying to sedate. You're trying to stabilize precision on sensation rather than threat. Sleep is the render farm. Protect it, and the whole system spends fewer cycles guessing. Fix your wake time first, non-negotiable. Morning light within an hour, outdoors if possible, even on cloudy days. It sets the circadian clock and anchors the night. Move caffeine to the morning and set a hard cutoff. No caffeine after noon if sleep is fragile. Create a wind-down anchor. The same 15 to 30 minutes every night, in the same order, low light, low screens. Read something paper, stretch slow, or run a brief body scan that labels neutral sensations without commentary. Keep your phone out of the bedroom. If that's not realistic yet, at least park it across the room on Do Not Disturb. Your brain learns that the bed means sleep, not crisis research. If your night's fragment, don't do math at 3 a.m. Get up, keep lights dim, sit somewhere quiet, slow breathe for 5 minutes, then back to bed. No phone, no forums. If early morning waking is a pattern, eat a small protein carb snack 90 minutes before bed and check your room's temperature. Cooler helps. Track only behaviors, not how you slept. The win is running. The routine, the sleep will follow. Fuel is mood. During acute DPDR, heroic fasting is a stressor. Start protein first at breakfast, eggs, yogurt, tofu, leftovers, and add steady carbs you digest well. Eat something every 3 to 4 hours for now. You're protecting against adrenergic spikes that mirror panic, shakes, heat, unreality. So the brain stops confusing hypoglycemia for existential threat. Hydrate, but skip chugging liters late in the day. Middle of the night bathroom trips carve sleep. Alcohol may feel like an off switch, but rebound wakefulness is common around 3 a.m., and morning flatness follows. Treat alcohol like caffeine's nighttime cousin. If your sleep's fragile, hold it or keep it early and small. Run a stimulant audit on paper for 2 weeks. Note dose, time, and any symptom bump. Caffeine, nicotine, prescribed stimulants, cannabis, they all shift arousal. If you're using a lot, titrate down slowly. If you're starting, start on stable weeks, not exam week. With cannabis, notice strain and form. High THC edibles often flip the dimmer harder and longer. None of this is moral, it's mechanical. You're checking which inputs keep precision noisy and which let it settle. Movement anchors interoception. You don't need a perfect program. You need weight, balance, and breath to meet in the same place. 2 to 3 times weekly, do slow, controlled closed-chain movements that load joints. Squats, deadlifts, carries, push-ups against a counter. Feel the floor, the pressure, the stretch. Between sets, 1 slow exhale. On off days, 10 minutes of easy mobility or a balance drill. Stand on 1 foot by the sink and lightly touch the counter when you wobble. You're building a map, not a physique. Microstory. A copywriter swore she had to solve her mind to fix her body. She flipped it. 10-minute breathing in the morning, humming in the shower, coffee moved earlier, a fixed wake, protein breakfast, and farmers carries twice a week with grocery bags in the hallway. 2 weeks later, mornings still felt odd, but the edges softened. She noticed the weight of the bags before the thought about unreality. That's precision moving. Guardrails keep this humane. Don't stack everything at once. Pick 2 anchors this week and run them clean. Reward consistency, not intensity. If you miss a night, don't chase it with a perfect day. Return to baseline and let the system relearn predictability. The dimmer rose to protect you when the data got wild. Re-regulate gives it quiet, trustworthy inputs, so it can risk turning the lights back up. Then we walk back into the world you've been avoiding, on purpose, without the escape hatches. Re-engage, graded reality immersion, behavioral exposures. We don't think our way out of avoidance, we move our way out. Re-engage is where the renderer learns on the job. You'll build a simple, honest exposure plan and run it like reps. The goal isn't to feel real. The goal is to stay with safe weirdness long enough for the brain to get bored and update its bet. Start with a hierarchy. List places, situations, and contexts you've been dodging. Be specific. Grocery store, 5 p.m., bright aisles. Bus, morning commute, standing. Park at noon, full sun. Friends dinner, low light, loud room. Include time of day and lighting, because DPDR loves glare and evening contrast. Rank each item minus 100 for distress. Pick 2 or 3 in the 30 to 60 range to start. High enough to feel it, low enough to finish. Before every exposure, set anti-reassurance rules. No scanning, am I real yet? No escape hatches, no, I'll leave at the first wave. Phone on airplane mode, out of reach. 1 slow exhale before you step in. You're not going to war, you're testing a prediction. Your job is to let the scene play until distress plateaus, then stay 30% longer. If the plateau lands at minute 10, you stay to 13. Track time and plateau, not feelings. Boredom is the win state. Microstory. A student avoids the campus bookstore because fluorescent lights make faces look like NPCs. Her exposure, mid-afternoon visit, hat off, sunglasses in bag. She walks one aisle for 10 minutes, reads 2 back covers out loud under her breath, slow exhales at the turn. Urge to leave peaks at 7 minutes, holds, then slides. She stays to 10+3. When she exits, she doesn't ask, "Did it work?" She logs duration and plateau. The next visit, same aisle, same plan. By week 2, the NPC feeling is still there, but thinner. The renderer is learning on repetition, not revelation. Build in values, so this isn't a punishment tour. If you're an artist, include an open studio hour. If you loved running, add an evening loop under streetlights. If friendship matters, put a phone call in a crowded place on the list. Values tether attention to why you're there, not just what you fear. Behavior teaches priors faster than thought. I am the person who shows up for what matters, even when it feels off. Time on task matters more than intensity. Plan 20 to 40-minute exposures. If you bolt at 5, it's not a failure, it's a rep that ended early. Note the time you left. Next session, aim for 8. Precision shifts with minutes repeated, not with heroic single sessions. If you stall for weeks on the same item, widen the lens. Is reassurance sneaking in? Are you checking your face in a phone reflection? Drop one crutch before you increase time. Social re-entry is its own hierarchy. Start with micro-conversations. Ask a cashier one genuine question. Hold eye contact for 3 seconds, then 5, then 10. Make a spontaneous phone call without a script. Meet a friend for a 20-minute walk at dusk. No scanning for clicks, just a pace you can breathe through. Let mild unreality be background noise you don't fix. The brain can't learn trust if you keep demanding proofs. Lighting tweaks can keep you honest. If supermarkets at noon are too much, start at 9 a.m. If dusk warps edges, meet dusk with a plan. A block-long walk, one slow exhale at each corner, label 5 neutral sites. You're not avoiding, you're shaping exposures so you can complete them and build volume. Here's a pattern that saves days. If an exposure spikes distress between sessions, don't reorganize your life around the spike. That's the loop baiting you. Hold your anchors, breath, sleep, fuel, and run the next exposure as planned. Spikes are the nervous system clearing static. You don't need to fix them. You need to keep feeding the renderer reliable scenes. Microstory. A new parent dreads the bright baby aisle. First pass, 15 minutes. No sunglasses, phone off, read price tags out loud. The ceiling hum feels like it's inside his skull. Plateau at minute 9. He stays to 12, then leaves without evaluating. That night, unreality surges. Old him would Google till 2. New rule. No symptom research after 6. He breathes, sleeps. Next day, he repeats the aisle. By the 3rd session, the hum's still there, but the edge is duller. He notices the weight of the diaper box. That detail matters more than the surge ever did. Common snags. You'll catch yourself bargaining. I'll do the aisle, but I'll keep the hood up. That's a safety behavior in costume. Drop one layer each week. Hood, then sunglasses, then the habit of staring at the floor. You'll also feel the narrator insisting. This is pointless if you don't feel different. That's a thought demanding precision. Label it, rejoin the scene. Progress is counted in completed sessions, not in epiphanies. Keep the record simple. 1 page, date, exposure, start time, plateau minute, end time. Notes on which safety behavior you removed. No. Symptom ratings. You're teaching your brain that actions, not interpretations, are how we move. When boredom replaces threat, you're done with that item. Not when it clicks. Not when you feel profound. Boredom says the prior and the data finally match. A Bayesian update completed. Then you move up the hierarchy and keep practicing. The renderer rises because you gave it what it needs. Time in safe scenes without rituals, tied to things you actually care about. Remap, interoception, ownership, and narrative. Re-engage taught the renderer that the world stays safe when you show up. Remap teaches the brain that you belong in the scene you just entered. This is the shift from observer to owner, raising precision on the body, not the commentary, and stitching those signals to meaning again. Start with body mapping, minus the drama. Once a day, sit or lie down for 5 minutes. Set a timer. Eyes open or softly closed, your call. Label 10 neutral sensations without fixing them. Pressure at the sit bones. Warmth at the hands. Cool air at the nostrils. The stretching calves. The pulse near the ear. Tingling in the lips. Clothing at the shoulder. Weight of the tongue. Contact of heel on floor. Temperature at the neck. Keep nouns simple, verbs gentle. I feel, not what does it mean. If a sensation feels odd, tag it interesting and move on. You're giving the insula clean reps. It learns through exposure and clarity, not through questions. Layer movement anchors that load joints, because weight wakes maps. 2 or 3 days a week, pick 3 closed chain moves you can do safely. A slow squat to a chair, a hinge like a hip-dominant bow with hands on thighs, and a carry, 2 grocery bags down a hallway for 60 seconds. Between sets, 1 slow exhale. Feel feet spread in shoes, knees track, hips fold, hands grip. You're not chasing sweat, you're chasing signal. Closed chain means the hand or foot is fixed against the world, which feeds proprioception, the sense of where you are in space. That reduces the floating camera vibe because your body's reporting from multiple points at once. On off days, add balance and mobility. Stand on 1 foot while you brush teeth, fingertips on the counter when you wobble. A slow neck and shoulder roll while you breathe. If your mind asks, "Isn't this too basic?" smile at the narrator. Basic is how maps are drawn. Now train senses like you'd train a muscle. Build a tiny scent library. 4 jars, citrus peel, coffee grounds, vanilla, clean soap. Once a day, pick 1, close eyes, slow exhale, note 3 words about the scent's edges. Sharp, warm, bitter. You're sharpening exteroception and gluing it to interoception through breath. Make a texture box, fabric, stone, wood, a rubber band ball. Touch 1 item with full attention for 20 seconds. Weight, temperature, drag. Then sound localization walks. 5 minutes outside, pick a sound, track its direction, then the next. You're binding multiple streams, so the brain stops leaning on thoughts alone. Ownership cues reclaim edges that DPDR blurs. Hands and face have dense cortical real estate. Use them. Morning and night, run warm water over hands, then face. As you wash, narrate contact. Warm at palms, glide on cheek, pressure at jaw. Apply lotion slowly, fingertips to temples, across the bridge of the nose, along the line of the chin. It's not a spa day, it's map work. Add self-touch reps across the day. 1 palm to sternum for 2 breaths when the narrator spikes, or forearm squeeze for 3 seconds before you speak. These tiny anchors tell the system, mine, without debate. Mirrors move from oracles to objects. Set a practice window. 2 minutes, once daily, good light. Stand, look at your face, name 5 neutral details. Left eyebrow higher, tiny freckle. Shade under eye. Lip curve. Hair curl. No meaning making, no do I click. When the 2 minutes end, step away. If the pull to check returns, note it as urge, not need, and redirect to a body map cue. You're teaching your brain that a mirror shows surfaces, not truths. Meanwhile, rebuild narrative the way you'd season a cast iron pan. Thin layers, often. Write 1 sentence that names your values in the present tense. I create, I care for my people, I take my body with me. Put it where you'll see it. Then run a simple journaling prompt 3 times a week. After dissociation, who am I becoming in actions? List 3 behaviors you did that signal identity. Took the dusk walk, called your sister, lifted groceries with attention. Don't rank how real they felt. Log that they happened. Behavior first, feeling follows. Now plant joy on purpose. The nervous system tags repeated, slightly novel, safe pleasures with salience. Without them, the world stays grey. Set a 3 simple joys calendar. Music you used to like, a food with texture, a small hobby. 10 minutes each, no phone. Name 1 sensory detail before and after. It might feel flat at first. That isn't failure, it's a system that needs reps. Reward the showing up, not the spark. Over weeks, sparks appear because neurons wire to what repeats. Microstory. A photographer who quit shooting because everything looked fake makes a rule. 3 frames at golden hour, 3 breaths between frames, 1 texture noted per shot, bark, brick, glass. Week 1, he hates it and goes anyway. Week 2, he notices the weight of the camera strap before the thought about unreality. Week 3, he laughs at a dog that wandered into frame. That laugh matters more than any analysis. Salience is waking up. Thread this together with language guardrails you already built. While you map, keep phrasing low salience. Noticing, not diagnosing. Practicing, not fixing. If you miss a day, don't make a meaning, make the next rep. If a surge hits mid-practice, don't stop, shorten it and finish. Completion beats intensity. Ownership returns as a mosaic. Body signals labeled, joints loaded, senses bound, edges reclaimed. values acted, joys tagged. The renderer adds depth because you fed it depth, weight, warmth, contact, story, again and again, without demanding a single thunderclap to prove it. The Esoteric bridge, Bardo of the living, clinical meets myth. There's a reason people reach for spiritual language when the world goes flat. They're not chasing poetry, they're trying to name limbo. In Tibetan traditions, there's a word for that in-between, Bardo, the interval between one known world and the next. Not just after death, but in life too, when identities dissolve and new forms haven't settled. DPDR can feel like the Bardo of the living. Familiar scenes stripped of meaning while you hover, waiting for a cue. Here's the helpful part of that frame. Liminality isn't failure. It's a transition space with tasks. In rites of passage across cultures, the middle phase suspends normal roles, so a person can be reassembled with new responsibilities and a deeper tie to community. The danger is staying there too long or calling it the destination. That's spiritual bypass, using detachment to dodge embodiment and relationship. The aim isn't to live in a temple of unreality. It's to return with humility and skills, more present than before. Put this next to the predictive brain. Mystical practices often loosen priors on purpose. You sit, chant, breathe, focus, or open awareness until the usual me map softens. For some, that creates insight, a wider field, less reactivity, more compassion. That's voluntary, scaffolded, usually dose-controlled, and anchored in ethics and community. Pathological dissociation is different. It's involuntary, often triggered by overload, and it downweights embodiment precisely when you need it. The resemblance can trick you, but the mechanism matters. One is chosen flexibility, the other is a protective shutdown. So we bridge them with guardrails. Meditation, for now, is eyes open and body forward. Walking contemplation beats long sits. 10 minutes, feeling footfalls, breath on the upper lip, the swing of arms. If you sit, keep it brief. 5 minutes, gaze soft at a fixed point, one anchor. Exhale length. Label thoughts narrator, then return to contact. You're not trying to dissolve, you're trying to inhabit. Prayer, if that's part of your life, keeps the same bias. Speak out loud, feel the chest resonance, palms together or on the heart so proprioception is involved. Sacred reading? Read a paragraph, then name 2 body sensations before the next. The bridge works when practice binds meaning to sensation, not when it floats you further out. Some traditions describe fana, ego's thinning, followed by bokeh, the return. The key word is return. Insight divorced from embodiment becomes performance. Embodiment without insight can turn rigid. We want both, nervous system skills that widen your window and sense-making that doesn't steal precision from the body. If a practice consistently leaves you more detached, trim the dose or pause it until your render is sturdier. Here's where people get stuck for years. Chasing unreality as proof of awakening. It flatters the narrator. It also entrenches DPDR. If you keep rewarding detachment with identity, this is me becoming enlightened, your brain tags the dimmer as desirable. It will protect it. Instead, flip the incentive structure. Choose integration as the status marker. I can feel my feet in hard moments. I can love people up close. Treat clarity as the win, not distance. A microstory to make it plain. After a retreat, a programmer slips into months of derealization. He reads texts that frame the numbness as no self. He doubles down on long, eyes closed sits. Meals pass without taste. Work slips. He decides to test a different vow, embodiment first. He caps meditation at 7 minutes, eyes open. He adds strength training, scent cards, and weekly dinners with friends, no phones. He keeps one simple contemplative line. May I be with what is in this body. 2 months in, he still has thin days, but he laughs more, sleeps deeper, and the render arises in small, stubborn steps. Insight follows embodiment, not the other way. If you need a myth to walk with, make it practical. Bardo texts are manuals, not museum pieces. They repeat instructions for the disoriented mind. Look for landmarks, don't chase illusions, remember kindness. Translate that. Your landmarks are breath, weight, light on a wall, a friend's voice. Illusions are forever, thoughts and salvation by checking. Kindness is choosing boring, steady practices over dramatic quests. That's not anti-spiritual, it's disciplined. What many communities underappreciate is how much physiology shapes experience. If you fast hard, sleep short, stack hyperventilation techniques, and isolate on purpose, you can induce altered states. Without a container, you can also induce DPDR-like detachment. The plan you're running isn't anti-awakening, it's pro-integration. When the body's map is clearer, any insight you earn lands in a place that can use it. So, are the people who swear a spiritual layer wrong? Not necessarily. They're often describing a real feature of mind, the capacity to widen and witness. We just refuse to confuse witnessing with evacuating. Your life is here. Groceries, sun on concrete, laughter that surprises you, work you care about, grief you can hold without floating away. If a practice helps you meet those, keep it. If it pulls you to the ceiling, cut the dose, add weight, and come back down. And here's the one detail that quietly keeps people stuck for years. When unreality steals pleasure, many people stop seeking it. They abandon normal joy. Without joy, salience has nothing warm to grab, and the world stays grey. That's the next stitch, bringing back small, repeatable pleasures, so your brain remembers why the lights should be on. The one detail, abandoning normal joy, micro-pleasure deprivation. Here's the quiet hinge most people miss. When unreality flattens pleasure, they stop reaching for it. Music goes off. Cooking turns into fueling. Hobbies pause until I feel normal. Social invites slip unanswered. The nervous system learns from what repeats, and now only threat repeats. Without small, reliable joys, your salience network has nothing warm to tag. The world stays grey because you aren't giving it colour to work with. Think of salience like a librarian deciding which books get a bright sticker. If threat gets all the stickers, scroll spikes, reassurance hits, avoidance relief, your attention keeps tracking alarms. Micro-pleasures used to get stickers too. A bass line, lemon zest on the tongue, a joke landing. In DPDR, people wait to feel joy before doing joyful things. That's backwards. The doing comes first, the feeling returns later. Pleasure extinction looks ordinary. You still eat, but you eat screens in. You still walk, but it's utilitarian. You still listen to music, but it's background to browsing symptoms. Novelty shrinks to tabs and notifications. The dopamine system adapts. Less reward to slow, embodied inputs, more to rapid, disembodied ones. Micro-story. A designer loved vinyl. After DPDR hit, his turntable gathered dust. He told himself, it'll hurt more to try. Months later, the world felt flatter than ever. He hadn't failed at joy. He'd starved the pathways that could carry it. Hebbian drift is blunt. Neurons wire to what repeats. If threat, checking, and numbing repeat, those circuits thicken. If small pleasures repeat, even muted, those circuits thicken. You don't need fireworks. You need dependable sparks. That's where the 3 simple joys protocol lives. Daily, 10 minutes each. No phone. 1 sensory anchor per joy. You're not chasing a mood, you're training a system. Pick your 3 with honesty, not nostalgia. 1 sound, 1 taste or texture, 1 doing. Sound, 1 album, 1 song, 1 instrument loop. Sit, slow exhale, name 3 qualities, warmth, hiss, pulse. Taste or texture, slice an orange, toast with salted butter, crunchy cucumbers. Before the first bite, breathe and name the texture you expect. After, name the texture you got. Doing, a tiny hobby, sketch a cup, toss a ball against a wall, knit 5 rows, water plants, sand a scrap of wood. 10 minutes. Timer set. No effort to feel more than you do. Your only job is to attend. Micro-story. A grad student who lost coffee starts a ritual. She grinds beans, inhales once, says 3 words, nutty, bitter, warm, pause, sits by a window. 10 minutes. By day 5, she notices the cup's weight before the thought about unreality. That's a win. The narrator complains, this used to thrill me. She labels it narrator, drinks anyway. By week 3, a sip makes her eyes close for half a second without permission. The sticker went on. Social hedonia matters because connection co-regulates. You don't need a party, you need shared signals. Schedule low-stakes play twice a week. A 20-minute walk with a friend, a silly card game with a partner, fetch with your dog, a voice memo exchange where rules say 1 joke per message. Laughter is a body event. Exhale heavy, rhythmic, contagious. You can't think your way into it. You set the scene and let the reflex happen. If you feel hollow while you do it, fine. Keep doing it. Your vagus nerve doesn't need your permission to upshift when you co-regulate. Build savoring cues to bind memory. Before you start a joy, speak 1 sensory prediction. After, speak 1 sensory surprise. That delta, what you expected versus what arrived, is how the brain tags significance. Write 1 line in a log. Date joy, 1 detail. April 6th, orange, pith bitter lingered. April 9th, strings, bow scrape before chord. April 14th, cards, snort laugh on a 7. You're not rating feelings. You're teaching attention where to land. Expect delayed uptake. This is strength training for pleasure. Early sets feel awkward. You show up anyway. Reward the showing up, not the spark. If you miss a day, don't fold the tent. Resume the next day without apology. If a joy turns stale, rotate in a cousin. New album, new recipe, new walk route. Novelty light, not novelty chaotic. Common traps. Don't turn joy into a test. If I don't feel it, I'm still broken. That's the narrator baiting you. The metric is completion. Don't multitask it with symptom searches. Phone stays in another room. Don't extend until it feels right. Cap it at 10 minutes to keep the bar low and the reps sustainable. A final micro story. A tired nurse brings back 3 joys. Chop herbs for 10 minutes. Call her brother and swap one joke. Stroke the cat's fur and name the textures. Slick ear, coarse back, velvet belly. Week 1, nothing but routine. Week 2, a laugh escapes on the phone. Week 3, she looks at the cutting board and thinks, green on wood. And something like fondness flickers. She didn't argue herself into color. She practiced it into view. This stitch isn't fluff. It's fuel. You're telling your brain, every day, there's something here worth turning the lights up for. The 12-week extraction plan, sequenced, realistic. Here's the plan that stitches every gear you've learned into a timeline you can actually run. Not a boot camp, a sequence. We front-load stabilization, then exposures, then identity and maintenance. You'll track behaviors, not vibes. You'll expect plateaus and count them as progress, because plateaus signal precision settling. Weeks 1 and 2, stabilization and setup. Relabel goes on a schedule, 20-second name, notice, normalize reps, 5 times before noon, 5 after, 5 in the evening. Post your script where you can't miss it. CO2 and vagal anchors every day. 10 minutes of slow nasal breathing in the morning, 2 minutes of humming in the shower, 1 slow exhale before transitions. Fix your wake time and guard morning light. Push caffeine earlier and cut it by noon. Build a simple food rhythm. Protein first at breakfast, a steady lunch, a small afternoon snack. Start a 2-week stimulant and symptom log. Dose, time, and a -10 note on unreality 30 and 90 minutes later. No judgment, just data. Draft your exposure hierarchy with times and lighting specifics. 3 items in the 30 to 60 range highlighted. Begin the 3 simple joys calendar. 1 sound, 1 taste or texture, 1 doing, 10 minutes each, no phone. 2 physician tasks if you haven't done them. Request the sensible medical screen and book vision or hearing checks if strain is part of your story. That's your lane clearing. Weeks 3 and 4, first exposures and first interoception reps. Run 2 exposures per week from your starter items, 20 to 30 minutes each. Anti-reassurance rule alive. Phone off, no scanning, stay to plateau plus 30%. Between exposures, keep breath and sleep steady. Start daily 5-minute body mapping. 10 neutral sensations, labeled without fixing them. Maintain the joy calendar and track a single detail per joy. Meet your clinician or therapist and share your formulation. Overload, mislabel, avoidance, hypermonitoring, reinforcement, so your care aligns with the behavioral plan. Keep the log and begin to see patterns. Which inputs consistently spike precision, which anchors calm the noise. If spikes show up after exposures, don't renegotiate your life. Hold anchors, trust reps, weeks 5 and 6, volume and load. Increase exposure duration toward the upper end, 30 to 40 minutes, and strip a safety layer each week. First the hood, then sunglasses, then the floor gaze. Add 2 sessions of simple strength with closed chain moves. Chair squats, hip hinges, push-ups to a counter, and a 60-second carry with grocery bags, anchored by slow exhales. Fold in 1 social re-entry goal weekly. Eye contact reps, a spontaneous call, a short cafe sit without the hat. Reduce reassurance checks by 50% or more. If you usually ask nightly, move to every other night, then twice a week, then 0. Keep journaling identity actions, not feelings. If your stimulant log shows a clear driver, titrate it down with your clinician. Notice mornings softening as sleep consistency settles. Weeks 7 and 8, light novelty and sensory drills. Introduce 1 travel or novelty exposure. Short train ride, a new grocery, a museum in bright light. Designed so you can complete it without escape hatches. Add scent cards and a texture box 3 times a week, 20 seconds per item, paired with 1 slow exhale. Keep meditation dose small and eyes open. 5 to 7 minutes max, body forward. Reduce symptom tracking. Drop the -10 ratings and keep only behavior logs. If the narrator pushes for grand spiritual meaning, answer with embodiment. Walk, hum, lift, call a friend. You're teaching the system that novelty can be interesting, not dangerous. Weeks 9 and 10, identity projects and commitments. Shift focus from symptom to skill. Pick one identity project tied to values. A creative practice minimum. 3 frames at golden hour. 1 page of writing, 1 sketch. Or a community anchor, volunteer hour, weekly class, club meeting. Schedule it, protect it, complete it, even if you feel off. Exposures climb the hierarchy to 60 to 70 items. Still 2 per week, still time-based, still boredom as the finish line. Keep resistance, training, and interoception practices. Let your log evolve into a skills sheet. Breath reps completed, exposures finished, joys logged, contacts made. That's the story that matters now. Weeks 11 and 12. Consolidation and relapse plan. Establish your minimum viable dose for maintenance. Daily microbreaths, fixed wake time, 2 interoceptive practices per week, 1 exposure per week to keep priors honest, strength twice weekly or carries in the hallway when life's busy, and your 3 simple joys most days. Draft a 48-hour flare protocol on paper. Halt check, reassert anchors, pause novelty, run 1 easy exposure you can finish, no nighttime research. Add seasonal buffers. Morning light box for winter if needed, earlier caffeine cutoffs in long. Summer evenings, travel sleep kits. Loop your community in. 1 accountability partner. Loved ones briefed on the anti-reassurance stance. Therapist alignment. If meds change, titrate slow and schedule around quiet weeks. Through all 12 weeks, iterate without urgency. If you miss a step, don't cram. Return to baseline and continue. If you hit a wall, make it smaller. Drop intensity, keep frequency. When boredom arrives, graduate that item. When joy flickers, log it, but don't chase it. The render arises on repetition. You're not waiting to feel real to live. You're living so the brain has reality to learn from. Relapse proofing and edge cases. You've built the gears. Now we keep them meshing when life tilts. Relapse isn't a moral failure, it's a precision shift. Our job is to notice early, run the protocol, and protect your lanes. Start with a simple flare plan you can follow at 2 a.m. halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Check boxes, not meanings. If any are yes, address them in order. Eat something steady. Protein plus a slow carb. Name anger and add a 2-minute hum. Text a safe person a single line. Running my 48-hour reset. Reply tomorrow. Protect sleep tonight. For 48 hours, pause novelty exposures and keep anchors tight. Fixed wake time, morning light, breath microdoses every hour. 3 simple joys capped at 10 minutes. And 1 easy exposure you can complete without bargaining, like a short aisle walk or a block at dusk. No nighttime research. Put the phone on Do Not Disturb by 6 p.m. You're telling the nervous system, we're back to basics. Most flares settle inside this window when you stop feeding them drama. Seasonal shifts ask for small edits, not reinvention. Winter light can make mornings feel dim and brittle. If daylight is scarce, add 10 to 30 minutes of bright light therapy within an hour of waking. Eyes open, facing the panel while you sip warm liquid. Keep the fixed wake time, even if the sun sleeps in. In long summer evenings, move your caffeine cutoff earlier, and add a wind-down anchor that includes 5 minutes in low light before bed. A page, a stretch, a body scan. Travel is its own prediction error. Pack your sleep kit, mask, earplugs, a tiny scent card you use at home, so the hotel room smells like a queue, and your breath routine. On arrival, get outside light and do 1 grounding rep. Hands in warm water, a slow exhale, 3 footsteps labeled. You're seeding familiar signals in a new place. Medication changes need planning because they tug arousal. If you're starting, stopping, or adjusting SSRIs, SNRIs, stimulants, or benzodiazepines, titrate slowly and schedule the change into a quieter life week. Keep a brief log, dose, time, and any shift in unreality or sleep. For 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after. You're not grading the med, you're learning your system. If activation shows up in the first days, edgy, flat, detached, add breath microdoses and guard sleep. If you're tapering benzodiazepines, expect rebound anxiety. That's chemistry, not catastrophe. Coordinate with your prescriber, lean on interoception training, and keep exposures small but steady. The theme holds. Don't pull 2 rugs at once. High-stress windows compress bandwidth. Exams, deadlines, launches, family care. Your nervous system is doing heavy lifts. Preload regulation the week before. Extend sleep by 30 minutes on 2 nights. Add 1 extra 10-minute slow breath session. And schedule 2 short, achievable exposures so your brain keeps getting safe scene reps. Protect 3 simple joys, even if they're tiny. Tea on the porch, 1 song, hand lotion. In the thick of it, aim for minimum viable dose, not heroic schedules. You're keeping the map alive, not winning a wellness prize. Community isn't a nice to have, it's a co-regulator. Pick an accountability partner who knows your scripts and your anti-reassurance rule. Share the plan on paper, flares, anchors, exposures, joys, and what support looks like. Mirror the script, don't answer, do I seem normal? Questions. Teach loved ones the stance. Listen, reflect, invite action. Walk around the block, but don't feed the checking loop. If you work with a therapist, align on exposure, response prevention for reassurance, and interoceptive training. If you're in a spiritual community, brief a mentor on your embodiment-first guardrails, so practices are dosed to help, not hollow you out. Edge cases need clarity. If you're also managing OCD, expect the obsession-compulsion machine to poach your DPDR. The fix is the same spine, exposure and response prevention. Build an ERP ladder for mental rituals. Delay the reality check question by 5 minutes, then 10, then drop it. For trauma histories where dissociation protected you during real danger, go slower with exposures and pair them with strong regulation anchors and, when needed, trauma-focused therapy. You're not ripping off armor, you're tailoring it to current life. If autism traits or sensory processing, differences are in the mix, tune environments, softer lights, predictable transitions, without turning them into prisons. We're after function, not conformity. Watch for the maintenance behaviors creeping back in disguise. A new hat becomes a concentration aid. Nighttime research becomes learning. Sunglasses indoors, only when tired, expands to always. Catch one, not all. Choose the easiest thread to pull this week, and pair its removal with a body anchor and a time target. The brain doesn't need a purge, it needs proof. Language, again, is leverage. During flares, keep phrases low salience and agency forward. Noticeable, not dangerous. Practicing, not perfecting. Weird and working. Swap relapse for flare if the former spikes shame. You're narrating a skill set, not confessing a sin. Viral pacing cue. Repeat short mantras viewers can quote in comments. Microstory. A teacher hits a rough week. Parent conferences. A sick kid. Short nights. Unreality rises. Old move. Cancel plans. Scroll until midnight. Beg reassurance. New move. Texts her partner. 48-hour reset. Reply tomorrow. Eats soup and toast. Hums in the shower. Sets the phone outside the bedroom. Next day. Fixed wake. Morning light. Carries with grocery bags in the hallway. 1 easy aisle exposure after work. 3 simple joys. Strings. Orange slices. A joke with her kid. The surge doesn't vanish, but it stops growing. By day 3, it's a whisper. That's not magic, that's a plan. Finally, name the exit you'll keep using. When life squeezes, you don't have to invent new tactics. You return to the same handful of moves that built your recovery. Boring labels, steady breath, real sleep, small joys, clean exposures, light on reassurance, and people who mirror your scripts. You've been living like a background extra. The exit line is the same every time. Dimmer, not danger. Stay in the scene. DPDR isn't a life sentence. It's a protective reflex that lost the plot. You can teach your brain the scene again. If you want the full extraction kit PDF and weekly drills, subscribe and watch the next deep dive on nervous system resets. Your world gets depth again when you practice on purpose. Start today.